Fortnite OG's storyline is continuing to change following the alteration of the rocket event when a mysterious red rift butterfly sabotaged a visitor's rocket and led to a red sideways rift to tear open in the sky. Consequently, that unstable red rift resulted in Kevin the Cube spawning with a red color instead of its iconic purple color. Although Kevin the Cube wasn't the only one who'd returned in Season 5. Just like the visitor returned in Season 4, Drift had returned as well, and his return revealed that he is now the new leader of the Fox Clan. Lastly, the I.O bunker at Wailing Woods began to emit a light again, but this time the lights weren't flashing. Instead, they were a static red color that slowly turned purple over the course of the season, along with the moon in the sky. Lots of strange things happen in Season 5, so sit back, relax, and let's uncover the mystery of Worlds Collide again. Before we get into Season 5's lore, I want to quickly recap what happened at the end of Season 4. As a result of the red sideways rift, the rift oddities around the island turned red too. This led to some of the props rifted out by the red rift oddities to go somewhere else before they would reach their intended destination. Those props were the Durburger head, which appeared in the Blitz game mode reality, the motel sign, which appeared in the Reload game mode reality, and the tomato head statue, which appeared in Reality 783, also known as the Chapter 6 island. These props eventually rifted back as if nothing changed, but there was one prop that did change, and that was the Nom sign. This time, the sign rifted back to its original location in Retail Row, and instead of saying Noms, it said Moon, likely foreshadowing the changes with the moon that would happen later in Season 5. Now that we've gone over that, let's begin with Drift. His new outfit is named Rift Reaver Drift, and if you took a closer look at the rest of his cosmetics, you would have realized that one of the cosmetics stand out the most, that being his wrap, which is titled Fox Clan Leader. The name of this wrap is really strange because it was never implied that Drift was the leader of the Fox Clan. From what we know, V has always been the leader of the reborn Fox Clan. Even in Chapter 6 Season 1, V was still the one giving around orders to the rest of the clan. But I theorize that perhaps sometime between Chapter 6 Season 1 Demon Hunters and OG Season 5, V might have rethought her position and officially decided to pass down the mantle of leadership to Drift instead, officially making Drift the new leader of the reborn Fox Clan. Personally, I believe that V was proud of the work she accomplished since the Fox Clan managed to survive extinction, although I believe she was especially proud of Drift because he took on two apprentices, Dre and Surge, and if it wasn't for his help, the Fox Clan would have ceased to exist. So after she got him to start properly training the strays he was picking up, V likely decided it was time to step down from her position and make Drift the new leader of the Fox Clan. I think she might have actually been waiting for an opportunity like this for a while too. V used to just be a normal member of the old Fox Clan from what we know, not the leader. So after all the old members were captured, she was burdened with the role of a leader, which we don't even know if she really wanted. However, she really had no other choice but to be a leader, otherwise the Fox Clan would have completely gone extinct. Fortunately, everything went well, and now she can hopefully relax. Unless the Imagined Order kidnaps her soon, and we finally get the long-awaited I.O version of V if that wasn't scrapped. There's a much higher chance of this happening now considering she's no longer the leader of the Fox Clan. Apart from that, something else I wanted to point out is the insignia found all over Rift Reaver Drift's set. According to his backbling's description, this symbol is actually the ancient insignia of the Fox Clan. It can also be found on the Fox Clan leader wrap. The reason I point this out is because this ancient insignia looks a lot like Drift's original mask, which makes me wonder if the person who gave Drift his original mask was the former leader of the Fox Clan, or if it could have been someone who was in possession of the leader's mask. This would mean that Drift was destined to become the leader of the Fox Clan ever since he got his mask in Chapter 1 Season 5. In the OG Greatest Hits quests for this season, dialogue from Drift confirmed that just like the Visitor, he too was re-experiencing his past. Drift said, "So many happy memories from another life," and "You ever feel like you've done all of this before?" He also referenced Bright Bomber, who was his former girlfriend, and one of his lines of dialogue. "Keep it bright out there," bright, I mean. I love that the writers threw in that reference. Having said that though, there are two specific pieces of dialogue from Drift that stood out the most. "Seek out the unknown" and "Stay in the loop, whatever it takes." Let's start with the first line. There is a huge emphasis on the word unknown in Fortnite OG, and whenever it's referenced, it's always spelled with a capital U, meaning it's quite important. But what is this unknown and what does it mean? I personally believe that the unknown is actually referring to Reality 0. In case some of you didn't know, the first and last time a reality has ever been referred to as unknown was at the very start of Chapter 4. The 0 point relocated Reality Zero to another reality after the fracture event, and to this day, that reality it relocated to is unknown. With that in mind, and considering OG is likely the past of Reality Zero, when you put 2 and 2 together, it would make sense that the unknown is actually referring to Reality Zero. This could explain Drift's dialogue when he told us to seek out the unknown, which he later followed up with by saying stay in the loop, whatever it takes. His dialogue could have been telling us to seek out Reality Zero and remain in its loop, no matter what. In my previous OG Storyline Explained video, I mentioned that the visitor's name was going to include the reality number he was visiting, 157, aka the OG reality. However, that was removed last minute, and like I also said in my previous video, I believe the reason for that is because the writers want to save the reality number reveal possibly for Chapter 7's launch. That's if we are indeed returning to the present Reality Zero in Chapter 7. So after thinking about it a bit more, I theorized that Reality 157 is the reality that the 0 point relocated to after the fracture event. In the second line of dialogue, Drift told us to stay in the loop, whatever it takes, which is very interesting to say the least. I'm not sure why he would even tell us this when the whole time our goal as loopers has been to escape the loop, and now someone is telling us to stay in the loop no matter what. It seems that Drift knows something crucial that made him say that. What it is though, we're not sure of as of now. Moving on, towards the end of the season, the bunker lights at Wailing Woods turned on again, but this time the lights weren't flashing. Rather, there was only a static red light emitting from the bunker. And along with the bunker, the moon in the sky turned to that same exact color of red as well. But why? Although there's not too much to go off of here, I believe the reason why the bunker lights and the moon changed colors simultaneously was to show us that the I.O. was likely manipulating the moon for some kind of purpose we don't completely understand just yet. The last time the bunker lights were on was during OG Season 4, with the Morse code of the blinking lights translating to something is wrong. Perhaps the I.O. are adjusting to the changes post Big Bang and are either studying the changes caused by the Red Rift butterfly or are attempting to counter them. Now for the cube itself. The cube spawned on the island on August 31st, this time with a red color, slightly different red rift powers, and more complex runes. Thanks to the Fortnite Season 5 OG blog post, we learned that this cube was indeed the actual Kevin the Cube. The only reason it looked a bit different though was because the red rift energy from the sideways rift transferred into the cube itself. Throughout the rest of the season, Kevin did exactly what it did all those years ago in Chapter 1, which was printing 7 runes around the island. But because of the red rift energy within the cube, the runes it printed were a bit more complex and had a red color instead of the usual purple. Back in Chapter 1, the zone created by the rune would give you a low gravity effect, although this time around, the rune zone would give you a pepper speed boost effect. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how absolutely mesmerizing the runes on the red cube look like? I cannot get over it. Also, right before Kevin reached Loot Lake, the cube printed one last rune and it looked a bit familiar. Yes, the Rezztro cube rune is real. Aside from that, Kevin melted in Loot Lake just like it did before, and the entire lake turned to a crimson red color. And that wraps it up for the entire Season 5 OG storyline explained. Season 6 OG has now begun, and both Kevin the Cube and its runes have returned to their original purple state. I personally theorize that the reason for this is because the red rift energy had transferred from the cube down to the 0 point, and we'll see its effects during the butterfly event, which should be happening sometime during early November. After that event, I'll be covering all of Season 6's storyline, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one, Lore Keepers.